So this video was recorded last year around this time. I didn't put it out then for some reason. I probably wasn't motivated to edit, but right now I'm feeling pretty motivated to edit just randomly. That's been happening lately, which is nice. And so I want to put it out. Some of the like a couple of details are somewhat dated, but the point still stands true. The points I'm making still stand. So I want to put it out, and yeah, hope you enjoy. So, I am watching videos, binging constantly, as I often find myself doing. And I know it's terrible, but I do it constantly. It's like I'm almost afraid of freaking not watching videos. And the one I was watching in particular was one of those dopamine detox ones because I got annoyed with the first one because it kept having these flashy, super specific edits where it's like it's just that style of like marginally different camera angles. Like they have two camera angles, one dead on, one slightly like sideways, where it looks like the dude's talking away from you. It's like a TV edit, but like a Jim Bro edit, but like nothing to do with Jim, just like that style of editing. And my point is, I got annoyed with that, so I'm just like, okay. So I just continue scrolling, doom scrolling, trying to avoid YouTube Shorts, which I really, really wish I could remove, because holy hell does that make me legitimately feel like the worst things I've felt. Like it's so bad. And so I click this video, another one that just so happens to be about dopamine detox. I don't usually watch these, but I'm like, it's been in the back of my head for several years probably, but lately it's been happening this whole beginning of the year. I've just been really, really, really thinking about this because I want to do it, but I just can't even. I feel like I can't bring myself to do it. But one of the things I actually liked about the first video and this one, like even though I had to watch it on 2x speed and like really try to focus on what the dude's maybe trying to say on the first one, it's not so much a detox. It's more so you have to, in order to get there, you have to reach a baseline of dopamine levels, meaning you don't just constantly reach for your phone. You don't just constantly reach for junk foods, reach for things that just give you instant heightened dopamine levels. Kind of just useless things like scrolling social media constantly that just mind meld you. Just, instantaneous dopamine constantly. It's basically about you need to avoid doing those things for long enough to where you just start coming back to normal. That was basically the gist of what portion of the video, the Jim Bro video, I finished, and the portion of the second video I finished. I didn't finish it because something that legitimately it makes me want to make that really mean documentary about this company because of how many people are back on sponsored by them. BetterHelp. I remember I tried to sign up for BetterHelp. I went through a whole freaking arc of, legitimately like, hey, I'm gonna try this thing since all the people I look up to are pushing the hell out of it. Even the people I don't look up to, just like random people. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll try this. If you know the story, it goes that, in short, it's like I couldn't sign up because they wouldn't let me be honest about how my mental health was. And it was like, if you're too honest, they'll literally kick you off. And you're like, oh, you're not allowed to do it because you're that far gone. At least that's what it feels like. Point is, I have a grudge against BetterHelp. It's been one of those video ideas that I've been really thinking about, or I just start really digging deep into them, into every single controversy they've ever had. Because I remember back in the day, probably a little bit before 2020, like maybe 2019, maybe it was 2020. There's some type of controversy where they were having supposed fake therapists on, and therapists wouldn't show up for appointments, and they were getting charged nonstop. It was just this whole fiasco about BetterHelp. That went away because that campaign of repairing their reputation from the whole internet canceling them somehow managed to work. And now every single person, it feels like, that I watch, even some people that I don't, like this random dude talking about dopamine detox, get sponsored by them, and they're like, oh, it's a good thing. It's gonna help you. It's gonna blah 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 blah. The same shit they've been pushing for so long. And not only am I tired of hearing it, it literally brings me. It's not. It kind of brings me back to that space I was in when I was trying to look for ways out, and BetterHelp specifically because that's the one I knew, and that's the one I still know. would not let me in. And I remember how freaking hopeless that made me feel, how freaking insane that made me feel. It's like, oh, I'm so far gone that this entire company that is built on freaking therapy won't take me. They won't take my money. They won't take it. They won't even let me sign up for an account. There's not a lot of sponsors that really annoy me. There was that one that sold like fake land for charity or something like that, and that would kind of annoy me, but it was more just like funny annoyance than anything. It's like, whatever, get your money. But this one is like, there's people who actually need that and who just cannot get it because they're too honest. Like for me, I had attempted to be honest, and it feels like if you're not allowed to be honest in that way, then there's just nothing that you can do. I don't know. It just, every time someone I watch is sponsored by BetterHelp, it just enrages me. And I don't get mad at the person. I get mad at that company's existence because they're not what they say they are. It just reminds me of how terrible I felt and how hopeless they made me feel specifically. So I don't know if I'll ever make that video fully digging into BetterHelp. Maybe this is the video. Maybe this is the extent of it. I really wanted to get that out because it's like I'm hearing good advice. I'm hearing, just get off your phone and do literally nothing for a bit in order to obviously not. I'm trying to paraphrase what he said. It was basically, he said do nothing at first and then he clarified it's like not literally nothing, like just do things that are productive, and then instead of when you're done being productive for a second or you're taking a break, instead of scrolling on your phone, instead of doing random pleasurable activities, you do nothing. You just kind of relax for a bit. Like literally. You either relax or you do, something less taxing that is also productive. And as simple as that sounds, it's like that really makes sense to me. And I didn't finish either of these videos, but that's what I got out of it. And I think it would work. And I think it will work. I need to bring myself to do that. Whole point of this video is just to get that out of my head, because that's I need to not get so frustrated at random companies. But yeah. One thing I forgot to mention after ranting was I kind of concluded in my head that maybe the depression, the horrible negative mentality, has been solely created by non-stop dopamine from watching videos. Because the main time now when I feel my brain is just wanting to explode is when I find myself on YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels or Twitter's very terrible version of that. The point is, the main times I feel mentally explosive is when I'm scrolling for long periods of time and when I'm just constantly on my phone. I really try to stay off my phone to the point where I have timers on it. But even then I find myself circumventing the timers, like going on separate apps that I don't even care about. Like that's the whole reason why I have X, why I have Twitter. I didn't have it when it was Twitter, so it was just X to me. Why I have Twitter is because I really was struggling with Instagram. Like I don't even remember, but I think it was like legit 6 hours a day sometimes, which is like crazy. And so I limited it to 2 hours. And that in and of itself is still crazy, but that's not 6 hours. So I have timers like that. And YouTube, I believe, it had to be like 12 hours, maybe more a day. Which, like, how do I spend more hours? How did I spend more hours on YouTube than awake living life? Now it's 6 hours limited, YouTube, and then often the full 2 hours on Instagram. Point in saying this is like, I've been doing this since I was legitimately in middle school. Like, no, way before middle school, specifically YouTube. And then, high school, that's when I actually got on Instagram, and then it got so much worse. I don't think there's ever been a moment since like 5th grade where I haven't had YouTube, and then a moment since the beginning of high school where I haven't had YouTube and Instagram constantly. And that, I'm concluding, since that's also when everything spiraled, not even just everything in life, but being a teenager, being completely addicted to social media, being inundated with random life events that I don't need to go through right then. It's like all that in combination, but I think mainly the social media destroyed my mental. And lately I've been like, not even like, I just been fine, like basically. I've been at a base level usually throughout the day where I'm just like, you know, I'm existing. I'm actually doing some things that are productive. Like lately, I've been going up and cleaning up the bike trails on my Suron, and that's been fine. There has been some baseline of like not just constant negative, but I think it would be a lot better if I just either stayed off completely or limited it to like 30 minutes total or something like that. Like I need to do something about that because it's already down. I find what I do is I wait until midnight when it resets, and then I binge YouTube until sometimes 4 in the morning, which I've been doing lately, which I hate. Kind of makes me think is like I'm in this state where I'm making enough money to where I can live right now, just off of what I'm doing, because I've been, eBay's been working out much better than it was before because I've gotten better at it. But that's still something I do at home. It's not exactly useful. It's just I'm selling shit. It's like, okay, whatever. Like I have freedom to do things, but I've been wasting it away because I haven't been getting up even like compared to when I used to get up. I used to have to get up at like 5 in the morning, like 5:30 max. Like that was the latest to go to school. Granted, I was still doing dumb stuff uh, at night, so I would generally, especially the last couple of years, I would only have like an hour or two of sleep before getting up. But point is, it's like even school kids are living life more than me because they at least have their social life. They talk to people. They are around people. They're doing schoolwork. They're doing things. And for me, I have so much time that I just waste on social media because I've been, I don't want to use the word addicted so liberally because I know people struggle with actual addictions, but it's the only thing I can describe it as is I've been addicted to social media for probably genuinely since fifth grade. So I've ever even during times in fifth grade, I like maybe I would make my mom mad or something and she would take away my phone. I would circumvent that by going on my Nintendo because I knew how to get the Wi-Fi to work on my Nintendo. Granted, it was terrible, but it was still something, and I would even go on YouTube then. So even during the times when I should have had a like forced break, I would go around it. I would like just continue with the constant dopamine surge, the constant information flooding, and then you go to now modern age YouTube, modern age Instagram, where short form videos, the things that we dreaded 5 or 10 years ago, are now insanely popular. Like with the advent of TikTok taking over, with all the short form content, it's just constantly, constantly, constantly scrolling. You can't even focus on that one 20-minute video anymore. It's like, unless it's like Markiplier, which I still enjoy, I often find it very difficult to focus on, different types of YouTube videos that are not short. I hate that because I don't even like the short videos. They're just too short and it's just way, way too much. And just having that power when I was already hooked onto YouTube for life, having shorts introduced, just scrolling constantly, 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 even when I don't even mean to be on shorts. Sometimes it just, I open it up and it's already on shorts. So I just kind of scroll once or twice. And then before you know it, it's an hour and a half in and I'm just, legitimately doom scrolling. Like, luckily, I think that's it's helping me realize that that is not living life. Like it's fun, and also the fact that there's just so much the shorts exist where it's just like every 60 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds, it's just like new thing, new thing, new thing. I think the fact that that now exists is like it just became too much, and there's no longer a dopamine spike. It's like a slight spike, and then cascading down and down and down until it's just like, why am I even here doing this? And I just legitimately throw my phone across the room and just stare at the wall for however long, because it just drives you mentally insane. It's just it's not good for anyone, let alone someone who is already addicted to the previous social media. It's just way too much. If I could invent an app where it limited Instagram to its text function and it limited YouTube to its long form function, like just deleting shorts entirely, that would fix a lot of problems because I could just put away like 30 minutes a day for watching videos when I have time after I've done productive things. And I feel like that would be okay because generally, if someone uploads, it's under 30 minutes, and there's only a few people like I really would rather not stop watching, and they don't upload often anymore because my generation has gotten older and they've moved on with their lives. I think self-limiting to 30 minutes YouTube. I'd say 15 minutes on Instagram just so I could talk to friends. I feel like that would be a reasonable amount of time. I'm looking forward to trying this detox thing. It's like such a big thing in my brain, but I know I can do it because I often find that when I'm just naturally off YouTube, like I'm actually doing something. Usually I start off with no motivation, but then it builds and builds and builds, and I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good. But it's like you don't even notice that you feel good because you just feel good. You know what I mean? It's not like a heightened sense of freaking focus, sense of just pure ecstasy. It's just like a normal state of mind, just hanging out with people or going off road or just having fun off of your phone. Anyway, yeah, hopefully I'm able to make something of this. Like, this is actually the beginning of something. Anyway, thank you for listening.